like I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car. Wherever I choose to go, it won't take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden.
Hey everybody, it's Miss Natural Mystics coming to you with a March garden greenhouse update. I'm going to also be showing you some of the things that I have going on in the front yard with the flower beds. So let me just show you what's growing. I'm so excited. It is spring. So it is chilly out here, so I have on my big jacket, but let me stop talking and show y'all what I got going on. Come on. So as you can see, this whole area right here is the area that I dug out. The goal was to put a potato bed here, but I definitely changed my mind about putting a potato bed here. I think I'm gonna just keep with the flower bed, and yeah, so we're gonna keep this as a flower bed, and I'll show you when we walk towards the front where I'm gonna put the potato bed at. But come with me, because right here I have planted a raspberry cane. Now this is just a red raspberry. I am not sure if it's everbearing or if it's just only you can harvest it at a certain time. But I did plant it right here. I know raspberry canes tend to get big, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I trellis this area off, and if it gets to a point where it gets out of control, I will move it eventually. But for right now, this is the home of my new raspberry bush that I'm going to have here. So I dug this whole area up. I have it covered up with tarp right now because the soil has not been amended yet, but this is going to be where I'm going to have all my cut flowers at. Over here I have amended the soil, and I have some calendula that are growing up right here. If you look, I have some chamomile. That's the Shasta daisy that's planted, and then on the edge right here, these little plants, that's borage. And if you look at these sprouts coming up right here, that's some blue hyssop. So a lot of my flowers I plan on using for teas and medicinal purposes, as I already had explained before. So that area is going to be concentrated on all of my flowers for medicinal purposes. Now this bed right here, I've made an area in front of the garden. I have amended the soil and everything. If you see the rocks that I have lined up here, y'all, this is not by any means a perfect bed, but of course the cost of lumber is going up, and when I dig these beds up, I promise y'all, I think my house was built on a rock quarry because it is so many big stones and rocks in the ground. So I decided that for right now, as a short-term remedy, I'm going to repurpose those rocks that I find in the ground and make them edges and borders for my beds right now until I get an opportunity to upgrade to something else. So I decided what I'm probably going to put on the trellis are probably going to be just some potato vines, something that kind of give this area some shade. I know I said before I was going to do cucumbers on it, and I might still do cucumbers like on one side, and then on the other side have another shading crop that comes over here, because in the heat of summer when it gets really hot, it's going to be hard to sit out in the greenhouse with the sun shining directly in on the greenhouse and exposed. So I just feel like this would be a really nice area to be able to set a chair down and chill out in between the times I'm working in the garden. So let me show you what I have in the garden. So as y'all see, the garden is almost ready to go. I'm so excited. There are a few other places I amended this side, but I haven't amended the other side. So when you first walk in, let's start from the beginning. And I have a cameraman now. My son Armid. So Right here are some sunflowers I had planted in the opening. These are some more of my sugar snap peas, and I have some sugar snap pea seeds down there too that I'm waiting to sprout. So hopefully, you know, I can succession plant and they'll start coming up when the weather gets a little bit more warmer for them to break through. All right here in this blank space, I have onion bulbs planted down there. So my onions should sprout in these areas right here, and I know that a lot of predators and stuff don't like onions, so that was the purpose of me planting most of the onions down the middle of the row. Hopefully that'll keep them away. We'll see. I have some romaine lettuces right here that are growing, and I think it is some Bloomsdale spinach. Yep, it's some Bloomsdale spinach growing down there too. So I just stuck these right here. I'm not sure if they're gonna survive, but you know, hey, if they do, that'll be a blessing. And I have them growing everywhere, so I just stuck those down there. And again, these are some more red onions. So in the back, I have a row of red cabbage seed that I planted. That's some early cabbage. This is a whole row of carrots coming up this way. Just follow my path. I had planted some collard green seeds right here. Oh, you know what? That's the back of that. I'm sorry. I didn't erase the back. Oh, maybe I did. Okay, yeah, that's some collard greens. I have a section of broccoli right here. And over here, I'm not sure what that is, but I'll be able to see it when I get back over there. If I'm not mistaken, it might be some broccoli. So I planted some seeds. What is that? Oh, that's some more kale seed that I have planted there. Okay. And I planted some seeds because I know it's a little cold. I know it's a little early. So when the sun breaks, hopefully everything will start popping up. I have plenty of seeds. So if it doesn't start popping out, then I'm just going to come and plant some more seeds. But for this time of the year, I think they'll do okay. So I've done the same thing kind of on this side, but I have a couple of different things. I planted some more onions in this blank space, and the onions go all the way across here. This is just 2 dill plants that I just stuck in the ground from the greenhouse, hoping, you know, they'll just go ahead and sprout when the season opens up. I have some bronze fennel right here in this row. Okay, and over here, all of these, keep in mind, are onions in between everything. So you'll, as the season keeps going, the onions are gonna start popping up and blooming. And then in this section right here, I have some beets, all which I planted from seed. Now this area over here is completely empty. I haven't planted anything yet because this is definitely going to be the area where I want my summer crops at, since that's probably going to be the first area that kind of gets the most sunlight. So over here is going to be peppers, string beans, eggplant. I just plan on having a lot of summer crops on this side. So this side is going to be clear, and I need some time to amend the soil. So we're going to next come over on our side flower bed. Now that's some sorrel, but it's the lamb's ear sorrel, so I have to pull that up. I know people say you can eat sorrel, the lamb's ear, but I don't eat it. So for me, it's kind of a weed. So I'm gonna pull that up. But in this area right here, I just threw wildflower seeds out. So hopefully those will start to sprout. You can see there's little sprouts coming up. Some of it might be weeds, like this little sorrel right here. But some of them are the wildflower seeds popping up that I spread it out here. This is some Echinacea Coneflower, and I have some more chamomile, those 2 sprigs right here in the back, because I just want chamomile everywhere. This is my side area garden. As you see, I constructed a hoop house out here on nights that I know that it's going to be below 40 degrees, since I have seedlings out here, I make sure that I cover this up, because I want my seeds to germinate, and I don't want to kill off my baby leaves I have out here. So let me just go ahead and get started on this side. I have some more onions that look really good and have sprouted up. This is some spinach, as you can see. I have some kale out here growing too amongst the spinach. This is a borage flower, I think. I think that's borage. I think it is. And we have some more kale and spinach mixed all in this area right here. We have mustard greens that I pulled from the greenhouse, and you'll see what I replaced those with. But I have switched these mustard greens from the greenhouse from outside twice, and they've overwintered and they still look really good. So here is some more onions, the ones that have sprouted. Because my snow peas were looking really good at one time, but because we got a frost, it kind of killed them off. So I cut them down. Hopefully they'll start growing back up, but I couldn't put it in the hoop house because it has the TP attachment to it. And if you see this TP attachment right here, I do that so the beans can climb up the pole. But since I was not able to save these peas down here, I just went ahead and planted some more seed. I still see some green, so they might come back up, but you know, the dirt is a little dry, so I definitely need to come out here and water it. And hopefully I'll get some more peas once the season break a little bit. But that's what happened when we got a night of a low of about 39. It killed the snow peas off, and they tend to do pretty good in cold weather, so I'm shocked. But it's, you know, you lose some, you win some. So right here, now y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what this is. I really think it's collard greens, but it might be mustard greens. And if it's mustard greens, it's okay. I lost the label and what it was supposed to be, so I'm just kind of guessing until it grows out a little bit more to see exactly what it is. And as a matter of fact, I know for a fact this is a borage. That's a borage flower. So that other one that I showed you, it looked kind of like some kind of mint or something, but I'll see, because I don't want mint growing out here or any type of invasive plants. These are some carrot sprouts, and you can't see them now, but all down this row I planted carrot seeds. So hopefully my carrot seeds will pop up, because again, like I said, if it gets too cold out here, I cover this up. And this right here is, I think it's a red cabbage, and I have 2 of them that have sprouted up, so I'm going to separate those. And this right here, I don't know what this is, y'all. It might be a weed, but I have all kind of little stuff growing in here. So, and I planted a lot of seeds down here, so once stuff starts popping up, I'll go ahead and be able to differentiate between the weeds and the seeds that I planted. So I have this area over here in this pot. Right now it just has mint in it, and this is some mint that I grew from the greenhouse. But over here I planted lemon basil seeds, and I've also planted lemon balm. So hopefully this will completely fill up so I can break off sprigs of all those different lemon flavors. So right here we have some sage, and we have some oregano. Now oregano is definitely invasive, so be careful about where you plant it. I had this little metal planter, and I have some landscaping paper underneath it, and I just filled it up, so you know, hopefully it won't take over. The sage can be invasive too, so that's why I'm trying to really keep those herbs contained. But here, right here, we have some spinach coming up, really pretty. That's Bloomsdale spinach. And then I have some Echinacea kale coming up right here. Now see, I thought this was a rosemary because I was growing it in the greenhouse, but it actually looks like a weed, y'all. This is not rosemary at all, so I'm going to pull that up. That's how you have to be careful with the seeds you germinate. And I'll find something else to put in this space. But this is another chamomile. And this right here is a broccoli. So this was something. I don't know what it is because it's not really growing. So I might have to put some other stuff out here. But the soil looks real good. And I have 2 more sprays of chamomile. Right here we have some more kale. This is curly kale. This is some more kale right here. And in this one I put some seeds, dill and cilantro. So I'm just waiting for those to sprout up when it gets warm enough. I've not been really successful in growing cilantro, so hopefully I'll do a better job at it this year. If not, I'll just probably go get me some plants that's already established. And here we have some more of that Bloomsdale spinach that's growing up. And y'all, this is my 2nd year grapevine. Now, this is the 3rd year of it. I just pruned this. Now, last year it had about 2 grapes on it. But this was really overgrown and had a lot of growth on it, so I just pruned it back. And pruning back grapes are not as easy as like just pruning back certain things. You really have to be careful about how you prune them back. And the goal is these 2 posts right here. There's one on this side and there's one on this side. I'm gonna build a trellis going across, or a gate panel going across, and that's what I'm gonna connect my grapevine to. So hopefully this year, since this is the 3rd year, I should get at least 2 or 3 clusters, hopefully, of grapes. And I'll show y'all that. So we're gonna move on in the greenhouse. Let me just tell y'all what I have. I have some peppers that are growing in this container right here, some celery that hasn't sprouted, some rosemary I was propagating that I definitely need to put some more water in. These are my seed starts. Right now I have Swiss chard coming up really good, some calendula flowers. Over here, some carrots that are coming up. These are some zinnias that are popping up in these seed pods because I'm planting flowers too. Here we have some more dill. These are some more peppers right here. This right here, I'm not sure what this is. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. So I'm gonna just put them out there and see, because I lost the tag to what they are. I have no idea what these are. If you do, or you know, I'll Google Lens it too and see if I can figure out what it is. And I'm gonna pull these off too as well. And over here, y'all, I'm gonna just have to give up on these. These have not produced any type of seedling. And it might just be too cold in here, you know, for the seedling. So these were where I had my herbs at. Okay, so this is Agastache or Agastache that I have planted in here. Is a new seed variety I have. Is a perennial flower, and I have a couple of different varieties. I have Navajo Sunset and Raspberry, and these are supposed to be fragrant and give off a nice scent. So those are going in a pot somewhere out front. So let me just start here. Here are my garlic bulbs that have overwintered, and hopefully I'm going to get some growth out of them this year. I've already cut the shoots down and used the garlic shoots, and I hydrate them with chives and green onion, and they taste really good as seasoning. Here's my cabbage that I've had. Now, you remember I had the big cabbage over here. I did harvest that cabbage, and something had bit, I thought something had bit it up, but what actually happened was I think it split open. Nothing bit it. And at first I was panicking. I was like, cause oh my God, something came into my greenhouse and bit my cabbage. But I really think because we had a lot of rain during that week, the head just wound up splitting open. But I cut it up, and it's in a freezer bag. All I have to do is put it in a pot and cook it with some seasoning. So here, right here, are some little pepper starts. I'm going to see how big they can mature in the greenhouse dirt versus in the plant starts and setting them outside. So if I could get some nice sized peppers in here before it gets too hot, I'll just go ahead and transplant them outside. Here are my snow peas that are in the greenhouse. Y'all, I probably have to get my soil tested because I'm not sure why I have coming from the ground so much decay and then it like gets better up here. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to do some more research. Again, I show y'all everything that's going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not trying to hide anything because that is a part of gardening. Everything's not gonna go exact way you want it to go, but I just keep working with it and practicing and trying different techniques until I get it right. So over here is the sage that I separated. It's looking so pretty and good. Right here, I replanted some more serrano chili seed peppers. In this container, I have a little green algae. This is some jalapeno peppers that I reseeded. And this is probably some more flower. What's this? Oh, lemon basil. So that's some lemon basil. These are some of those chamomile. I've been taking chamomile out of here a little bit at a time and planting it outside in different places. Here's the lemon thyme, and the lemon balm is really taking off. So I've been harvesting this lemon balm and dehydrating it for teas, and that's the intention for that. Now I moved those mustard greens. You see the ones outside. They used to be right here, and I spilled some calendula seeds right here. And right here. See how big they get it. Just transplant them. Here's the chives. Here's the oregano. Here is the English thyme. Here's that green onion. I cut 2 stalks of it off because I needed a little bit of green onions, and I had cut some chives out here one day, so that's why you had the 2 stalks cut off. Hopefully that'll promote it to grow up. Here's those other green onions that I have grown in the container, and I'll cut these off as I need them and use them. Here is the collard green. That's in the greenhouse. It wants to go to flower, but every time I see little flower petals on it, let me make sure. Yeah, I don't see any now, but every time I see little flower petals on it, I just snip them off and keep harvesting them. I have 2 new containers of strawberries. These are bare root strawberries that I got from, I want to say, Home Depot in a pack, and I got 12 bare roots out of this. So they haven't come up yet. I know I'm not going to probably get any strawberries this year because they have to get the flowers on them and stuff, but these are getting ready to go outside. And I'm going to use them as like a hanger planter where I'm going to attach them to the side of the greenhouse. So, and these are my strawberries that I've had. This one and this one are strawberries I've had for 2 years. This is my oldest strawberry, and it's an everbearing, and it's really getting ready to take off. I've been doing my due diligence and plucking off the flowers because they say you should pluck off the flowers first, and that'll encourage the green growth. I've been fertilizing them this year, so hopefully fingers crossed. Strawberries are also that other thing that's kind of tricky for me to grow, so I've done a lot of research on them, and hopefully this year I'll get some strawberries out of my at least out of my oldest plant. Hopefully I'll get them out of the 2-year plants too. And that area over there is kind of doing its own thing. Some things have sprouted up, some things have just not sprouted up at all. As you see in that cardboard box, those are some green beans, and I just don't think it's hot enough yet. Even though I have it in a good sunny area for them to sprout up, I just don't think it's hot enough yet for string beans. So, you know, I'm still going to work with that stuff over there, but right now that area is serving the purpose of it needs some attention. And I want to show you my newest baby. This is actually a Chicago hardy fig tree. So I planted it, did a lot of research on it, and found out that, you know, they're good to grow in containers, and then you can always transplant them in the ground the bigger they get. Right here is some cold weathered seeds that I kind of been planting. And I have kale, dinosaur kale, curly kale. These are my mustard greens, some Swiss chard. These are old seed packs that I really need to get rid of. So I'm going to show you next where I'm going to plant these seeds at to kind of try to get rid of them and have a little bit more space for springtime gardening before the summer. So this is the side of the garden, the side garden beside the greenhouse. Those seed packs that I just showed you, things like beets, Swiss chard, anything that needs shade, I'm going to put it in this bed because this tree is going to fill out. And once this tree fills out, then it's going to shade this whole area. So I do always tend to use kind of cold hardy things like carrots and things like this in this bed, and it's already ready. What's coming up right here, as you see those little green sprouts, those are some hollyhock, and every year I clean out this bed, I think I get out all the hollyhock bulbs, but because that's what was out here at first. This was a flower bed at first, and then I transitioned it to a garden space, and every time I think I get the hollyhock bulbs out, it's still more in there. So this year I'm not going to even take them out. I'm going to let them grow amongst the vegetables, and just as long as they don't get too invasive and more don't sprout up getting in the way of my vegetables. So this is the first time that I've done this on Miss Natural Mystic channel, but I'm going to take you to the front yard. I do a lot of flower planting, a lot of landscaping ideas that I have. For me and my neighbor, I work on her yard too, so I'm going to also use this time to take the opportunity to show you guys the front, because this is actually going to be the before and the season is getting started, and I'll show you what I do to work out in the front of my landscape. So okay, everybody, we are out in the front yard. So this is my front yard. I have a lot of work to do out here, but I just want to show you how much work I have to do compared to what it's going to turn out to be. So as you see, right here I have the same plant coming all the way around this border right here, and I really think that this is blue hyssop, y'all. I have planted it and I can't remember what it is, but I truly think that this is blue hyssop that is coming down this row right here. So I have one right here, right here, right here, right here. And this is the first year I've had that much green on there. I planted them out last year and they didn't get any flowers. So this year, once they get flowers, I'll truly be able to identify to see what they are. This is a yellow rose bush. Now, this one is stunted in growth, and I think the reason why is because I have one planted so close, and this is a white rose bush. They're two different varieties. I can tell by the leaves that they're two different varieties. So the plan is I'm going to move this rose bush out of here, and I'm going to find somewhere else to plant it. I'm probably going to plant it in the backyard or either on the other side of my flower bed. I'm trying to figure that out now, but this one for sure is definitely going to get transplanted. I'm going to keep this one right here because it has some really pretty flower buds. Both of them do, but I just think they're drowning out and competing with each other. This right here that's dead, that was lemongrass from last year. So I'm gonna just pull all of that up and I'll find something else to put there. I'm really thinking I'm gonna put maybe some either sunflowers or some kind of cosmos, something. I don't know. Sunflowers are more uniform, but cosmos are more wispy, so I have to consider what I'm gonna do right there because it is gonna kind of fall over that little gated area. And I have a row of grasses now. These are coming up outside of the rock borders I have, and you know what? I think I'm okay with that. If they fill up this one area in this back where it's exposed to, I really think I'm okay. But every season I try to come down and cut these down. I didn't cut this group down because they were brand new plants that I had separated and put them in different places. And I might even do that. I might just pull them and put them back down to fill up the areas, but haven't decided yet. These are my vegetative grasses that I have cut down, and as you see, they're coming back really strong and healthy. When they're in full bloom, you're going to see purple flower heads come on the top of them in bud. So right here, I have a rosemary that the goal is going to fill up this whole corner area right here because rosemary does grow pretty big. I have another rosemary that I got. Y'all, this looks so sad. It looks so poor, but I'm gonna bring it back to life, and I'm gonna put it on the opposite side of the flower bed so I can use the vegetation of the rosemary to fill those spaces. The goal was right here to have lavender border, but of course this one I pulled from like this type of lavender is for like the purpose of flowers and herbs and tea. This one is more of something that you would line, because this is silver. I think it's called silver bell lavender or something like that. And this is more for outside, just for ornamental purposes. So the whole plan was to have the lavender border going all across, but I think I'm going to scrap that plan and just build off of those two that I have because they are in symmetry, and just pull this one up and just stick it somewhere else. Right here, I just got this plant stand. I just wanted to show it to y'all. I'm going to have hanging plants coming from each one of these hooks. I'm not sure what type yet. That's the plan anyway, and use it for an outside plant stand. To have different ornamental flowers when you first walk up. So right here is another Echinacea Coneflower that's coming back up. And if you look, my knockout rose bushes are expanding. This is the third year of those knockout rose bushes, and you have to kind of think I've been here in this home for 3 years. So everything that's planted out here that is a perennial is technically gonna be here for 3 years at least. The lavender I did just get last season though, so this is the second season of the lavender coming up. So okay. Oh. All right, and right here is my Aloe Vera plant. I had this plant, it was probably just one sprig like this main root, and it's grown up and it's falling over. So it was in the house, and I just decided to bring it outside since spring is coming, and I think that'll be a good time to bring it outside and give it a little bit more sunlight, and it's not too hot. So that's my aloe vera plant. And the last thing is, this is a evergreen tree that we got from our land in Warren County, North Carolina. I had took an elderberry out there and planted it on the land, and then we brought a baby tree from there to bring here. I don't know where I'm going to put this tree at. So that's why it's still sitting here in the pot, but I'm going to figure it out and just plant the tree. I'm not sure where I'm going to put that. But let me take you over to my neighbor's house because I just finished doing a lot of work over there before the season starts and show you what I got going on. Alright, so now we're in my neighbor's yard, and I'm going to just show you what we have going on over here and what I've planted, because I planted a lot of seed over here too. So right here, these are some lilies. They come up yellow, and this was a part of some lilies that I had in a pot that she was growing, and the roots got way too big for the pot, so I just took them out the pot and I spreaded them out last year before it got cold outside, and they're just starting to sprout up now. And these lilies are native to North Carolina. Like, they grow really good in the clay soil, so you know, if you have clay soil, lilies are a good thing to grow. You can't see it, but I've put seed down here of marigolds, so eventually those marigold seeds will come up. I planted out here also, like in my yard, a knockout rose bush. This is the second year of that knockout rose bush, and as you see the foliage, it looks really good. I just fertilized it. So, and this is the time you want to go ahead and fertilize all of your shrubs and your bushes before it kicks in the high heat. So this is a good time to fertilize. In this space right here, I'm actually going to have some sunflowers coming up in these areas to fill these gaps. And right now, the azalea bushes are forming buds and get ready to bloom. I've already fertilized the azalea bushes too. I cut them back last season, so they're going to be just gorgeous when they start blooming. In between this space right here, there's some more daisy seeds that I planted down. I'm not daisies, I keep saying daisies, I'm so sorry. But sunflowers. These are not going to be your giant sunflowers. They're going to stand about this high. So when it gets real hot outside, the alternative for the sunflowers will bring more color over here, because by that time the azaleas, they'll be out of bloom. Here's another azalea. In this area, I also have some more sunflowers planted here. And I think I also have, I know I do, I have some zinnias planted here too to give it a little bit more height. In this area right here, I planted some Agastache because it is a smell good flower and it comes back every year as a perennial. So hopefully, you know, I can keep cutting back the Agastache that grows there. And Agastache is in the mint family. So again, when the wind blows, you're going to be able to smell it. This is just some vine and covering plants that are just coming up now. And these shrubs right here, if anybody can give me any ideas on shrub maintenance, they were babies, and I don't know, they look okay. I cut them back. They're about 2 years old, so I don't expect them to grow that much, but I just don't like how we had this yellowing on them and stuff like that. So I just treated them and fertilized it and hope I can bring it back. But if anybody can give me any ideas on you know, shrub care and what's the best things to use for them, I'd appreciate it. Now this flower bed we made, me and my husband. She said she wanted a centerpiece and a focal piece for her yard, so I came up with this concept and this idea. And you see we had the river rocks going up the side and is lined with landscaping lights. I do come up here and clean out these rocks, and I'll get another layer of rocks and put down here too, so it can kind of pop back out again. But I have planted bulbs in this bed and also flower seeds. I planted the bulbs because as you know, you plant bulbs, they don't come until the next season. So my goal was I was always putting annual flowers out here. So, you know, we came up with a different idea to kind of change just putting annual flowers out here and just put flower bulbs out here so we could get some perennials coming out here every year, so you won't have to keep buying a whole lot of flowers, and you can just come in and fill in space. So I have zinnias. As far as flowers out here, I have some cosmos. I have phyllox planted out here. Right Shasta daisy. And in the pot, we have some vegetative vines. So these are going to grow up and spill over the side. These are some daisies from last year. So they're turning green again, so it looks like they're going to come up. And those daisies are pink and red color. So I think it's an orange one too. So this is the final garden update, greenhouse update, landscaping update for March, because spring is here. And I'm just so excited that the weather is breaking and I can really truly get out here and get to planting not only my garden but also my cut flowers and things. It just makes, you know, everything work as a cohesive ecosystem. I enjoy doing that. So please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to Miss Natural Mystic's channel. Make sure you continue to do the most so you can be the most. Thank y'all and have a good day.